My name is Mr. Hicks. I'm also joined by Mr. Green and Mr. Jones. This morning for you all, we'll talk about and of course demonstrate the military weapons that you would see here at the Alamo, which is a smoothbore flintlock musket. Now in the United States, there's two arsenals or armories that supply these to the armies and to the militias. The first one would be in Springfield, Massachusetts, while 1795. That's what Mr. Jones is holding, the first military weapon. A few years later down the road, in Harper's Ferry, Virginia, the Model 1816 would come out, both American-made muskets, and both are 69 caliber. The other musket that you would see here is a British musket called a Brown Bess. That's what Mr. Green is holding. That is what the entire Mexican army is using, as well as about half the defenders as well. The main difference is that a British musket is a 75 caliber instead of 69, so it's a slightly larger lead ball. But again, they're all going to work or not work the very same way, and all military weapons at this time are smoothbore, meaning the barrel is just a tube. There's no rifling inside the barrel. Rifling are a series of cut grooves in a long rifle barrel. So when you fire a lead ball out of a rifle, those grooves are going to help that ball spin. Makes it go straight and accurate to about 300 yards. Since there's no rifling inside a musket barrel, that ball's not going to spin. Instead, it will just bounce around inside the barrel until it comes out. So you don't really know where this ball's going to end up. Now, these do have a sighted range of 150 yards. They can reach out to 200 yards. Again, you just don't know what you're going to hit. Because at 75 yards, just about, that's going to be deadly shot. That's where you're actually going to hit someone. At 100 yards, that lead ball will be about 6 feet off its target already. So that's why the military tactics of the time was to stand shoulder to shoulder in line formation, and these men are just going to fire all together in volleys, hoping to hit one of them. Of course, the enemy's doing the exact same thing. So you have these walls of men just shooting back and forth. So it doesn't really matter who you hit as long as you hit one of them. Now the military preferred muskets over the long rifle because of the loading time. The loading time for a musket was only 20 seconds. So these men should get 3 shots off every minute. That long rifle will take you almost a full minute to load and fire for 1 shot, which of course on the battlefield is too slow. You want something that has a lot of speed. You want more lead down toward the enemy as possible. Now at camp, camp life was about rest, but it's always about drill. We're going to go through some basic drill the men would learn, and of course the practice way to load and fire the musket, which is a 12-step process. So right now we have the men at what's called order arms. Then we're going to go to shoulder arms. These men would march with that musket in that left shoulder position 10 to 12 miles every day, which is a long time. And of course these muskets are not light, they're pretty heavy. So your arm is going to get pretty tired. So there has to be different manners to carry them. One such way is to support arms. So in this way, the lock mechanism to the musket is now nestled in the crease of the elbow. It's quite comfortable, and if you wanted to run into the battlefield, you simply grab the stock and then run onto the field. Shoulder arms. Another such way is to secure arms, so when it's raining out, you don't want that lock mechanism to get wet, so now you have it tucked underneath the arm, and the barrel's pointed downward, just in case if you do have a powder charge in there. Black powder, of course, when it gets wet, you can't use it. Shoulder arms. Another way you can carry it, to the right shoulder shift, arms. So now, it's resting on top of the right shoulder. The downside is how high this gun sticks up. So these men are marching and these came across overhanging limbs or branches, this weapon will run right into them, which of course we can't have, so the men will have to go back to shoulder arms. And when you're marching, you see those overhanging limbs, trail arms. And when your right hand will get tired, switch hands, re-switch hands, shoulder, arms. Now these sharp pointed things on the ends are called bayonets. So in times of hand-to-hand combat, these men will go to arms, port, charge, bayonet. And of course with more men, that line formation, it will look more intimidating towards the enemy. Shoulder, arms, unfix, bayonet. Squad, prepare to load in 12 times. Load. Open, pan. Handle, cartridge. Now inside your cartridge box are 25 paper cartridges. On the bottom of every cartridge is a lead round ball, and the top has the pre-measured gunpowder you're going to need for your musket. Now these cartridges are crimped over, so the only way for the men to get inside is to tear cartridge. They'll tear open the top and spit it out, then they'll prime. Put a little powder inside that pan, shut pan, cast about, charge cartridge. So the remaining gunpowder is poured down the barrel. The ball and paper that's left get wadded up and stuffed in. Now these men have to pack that all on top of the powder towards the breech. So we're going to draw rammer, ram, cartridge. We'll pack that nice and tight. Return, rammer, shoulder, arms. And they all go back to that left shoulder position. So that whole process should take them 20 seconds. Now the commanding officer, he's waiting for his men in that line to be all in that left shoulder position, because that's going to tell him that his men are all loaded and ready to fire. The next commands given, of course, are ready, aim, fire. A big boom, and they do it all over again. Shoulder, arms. So we're going to do that same 12-step process with an actual cartridge, and then we're going to load and fire 2 rounds at speed. Now these guns, of course, are pretty loud, so if you have little ones or sensitive hearing, please cover your ears now.
You don't have to cover. Stand in front of me. It's like,
I told you.
what happened here? Let's hear it. This is cool. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be a thing to remember. Well, I am gonna remember because it's on YouTube. Oh god, it's loud in real life. God! Jesus. Oh my god, how many? What is he doing? Stop it. What is he doing?
It smells like firecrackers.
It smells like firecrackers, yeah.
Set, arms, shoulder, off. Recover, arms, ease, spring. Lodge, arms, order, off. Spring, rammer. Squad, dismissed. Huzzah! Thank you, everyone.
All right. You guys are the best.
Very cool.
Questions, folks?
Thank you. That was great.
Questions?
I don't have a state. I have a statement. You guys are cool.
Well, thank you very much.
And that's a fact.
You're welcome.
So the rifles, are those originals or those replicas? Or?
These are muskets. They are reproductions. But as you can see, they are real. They do work. I just went to the gun range last Wednesday, so kicks like a mule.
Oh my
Imagine
god.
if you took the gun range in with that.
Hey, I'm gonna shoot with this. That was cool.
I have a statement.
I don't have a question. I have a statement.
But baby, don't be making faces when you talk to people. Just talk.
You're the best. And that's a fact.
Did you record yourself saying that?
I think.